A beloved anime that's over 1,000 episodes long that's finally made it to Netflix in a live adaptation with a Rotten Tomatoes score of 82% by the critics and 95% by the audience. We will be looking at One Piece. Welcome back to Tales of Two Bros. My name is Angel,
I'm Adan.
where we give you a review at least once a week. Spoiler alert, One Piece. Adan, I was interested in watching the anime, and you were saying, don't do it because by the time you start, you'll probably never finish it because of how many episodes it has.
It's still
Uh,
ongoing, first of
God
all,
damn it. Jesus
and
Christ.
I caught up and then I stopped because I had to catch up with my other stuff. But it took me like a month of avoiding everything else and just watching One Piece every chance I got a chance.
Every chance you got a chance.
Exactly, I took every chance there was possible.
Okay. Now, but
um,
real quick, so it's just one season, 8 episodes for the first season so far for
mhm,
the live action
mhm.
adaptation, excuse me. I took a little break to see, if there's any One Piece on Netflix, like the animation. And I saw that as soon as I put this on, they put up like, since you watch this, here's this.
Yeah,
And they've re-brought, I guess, since the live update, the live version
just
is
aired
up.
this week.
By the time we're reviewing it, it debuted
Mhm.
today. And again, the Rotten Tomatoes score that I just posted, it was of this review. I don't know, these are like episodes they put in together to make a movie, or they made separate movies for One Piece. I don't know, because I saw it. They already posted 3 One Piece movies, or they call it movies. And I'm not, again, like I said, I'm not sure if they're part of the episodes, or they just like an arc, a story arc that they just combined it as one.
S-
I don't know.
So I haven't looked at those, but if I'm correct, at least one or two of them probably are where they're condensed arcs. One Piece has multiple movies where they just condense the timelines together, so you can just, if you try and play catch up but you don't want to watch all the episodes, you can actually
Right.
just watch the
Okay.
movie. It'll do a pretty good job of summarizing everything together. They do have, well, like the term OVA, like, like original
Right.
video content that has nothing to do with the world. I just double
Mhm.
checked. Netflix actually has 15 seasons of One Piece as well, which is about right.
How many seasons are there?
About 13 to 15.
Well,
Right now, they just left off on
can't
episode
wait a minute. It can't
1073.
be okay. Yeah, so I'm not gonna watch this.
So, yeah,
I
and
may
I
watch the
don't,
movies.
I would
I may
say
not watch
it's
the
at
movie.
least 13 seasons. I don't count, I didn't go through validating which Netflix because sometimes Netflix likes to split up their seasons a little bit more than what is traditional.
Oh, okay, I see.
It's 1073 episodes just aired. The last one was that number, and they're still going.
Let's go over the staff and crew, what have you. So 8 episodes, 4 directors for the
Mm-hmm.
first season. I'm going to try to pronounce their names. Some I might get it right, some I may not. But you have Mark Jobst, Tim Sussman, Emma Sullivan, Joseph Kupota Wadka. He's mixed, definitely. It looks like a Polish last name. But anyway, those are the 4 directors, and I apologize for tearing up your names. You guys did an amazing job with these episodes, but the writing credits, you have 11 with the combination of the creators of One Piece and those who wrote for the screenplay for this Netflix adaptation. I'll try it real quick. Lindsay Golfin, Tom Hidman, Steve Maeda, Ichiro Oda, Matt Owens, Allison Wintrop, Tiffany Greshler, Ian Stokes, Diego Gutierrez, Laura Jacquin, and Damani Johnson. I hope I got you guys right. But now, starring in this, you have Inaki Godoy. He's Mexican. He looks Filipino, but he's Mexican.
I've actually
Monkey
seen them
D. Lopez.
before.
Oh, you have? And
Yeah,
what?
and there was a show that I watched, and our dad watched it too. Called The Imperfects.
Oh, is that like a superhero kind of
Yeah,
alien, not
basically there was like a
monster?
scientist that messed with people to try to cure a disease, and they ended up being like gain mythical creature powers. So he ended up being a were chupacabra.
Right? Wasn't he like the BBC?
I want to say I thought that was a BBC show. I could be wrong, but I feel like it is.
Okay. Nami, played by Emily Rudd.
Mhm.
You have Roronoa Zoro by Makanu. And guess who he's the son of?
Uh
Don't look it up. Guess.
oh,
Okay, you
I looked it up. But wow. Wow.
right?
I wouldn't have seen that actually. I never would have guessed that.
Me neither. I looked it up. I was like, he looks like I loved his performance. So I was like, who is this guy?
I actually
This
understand why they picked him for Zoro too, because he's done a lot of sword fighting stuff. He was
right.
Ronin Kenshin. He did those movies.
Oh wow. Well, for those who are listening and like, tell us, he is the son of the martial arts actor legend Sonny Chiba, the one
Hmm.
behind Street Fighter. He was Tari Hanzo in many incarnations in the movies, but he was also Hitari Hanzo in Kill Bill. So I mean, it's just kind of cool to see that. And it's like, when did Sonny Chiba have him? Because Sonny Chiba was not young, and Makanu is relatively young. So I guess he had him in his 50s or something like that, or 40s.
Wow, he was born in '96. So yeah, he is
Right.
pretty young.
You have here Jacob Romero playing Usopp Armand Ocamp. He was Bogart.
Dracul Mihawk. That's Stephen John Ward.
Aiden Scott, who played him, him, Poto. I can't say that name. Sorry. He was the one that he freaked me out while he was playing with a sword with it butt naked. Kobe was cool. Kobe reminded me of like a cross between of a Harry Potter character with
Oh,
glasses and blonde hair.
yes. I know what you mean. Morgan Davies.
That's Morgan Davies.
Mm,
Vincent Reagan was Garp. Buggy the clown was played by Jeff Ward. Do you recognize Jeff Ward? Do you recognize that name?
I did. I actually recognized his face before his name when I was watching it. And it was bugging me
Oh,
because I was like,
oh, really? You recognize this? I mean, his acting drew my attention. I was like, so I went to look it up again, and he's from Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
mhm, in the later seasons.
McKinley Ulcher, the third was Arlong, and we have Craig Farbrass as the chef Zeph.
Which
And the other actors
I'm
too,
not
sure.
gonna lie, like I felt like he was channeling Gordon Ramsay's.
Totally. To tell you the truth, I didn't finish the season. I have one more episode to watch, but I want to get this review.
Oh,
I dug it. And guess who else dug it? Kim.
yeah.
Kim dug it. As I mean, I started watching it without her because I didn't think it was her cup of tea. But then she came home and she's like, "What are you watching?" And so
It's this
she
new
just got
thing called
hooked.
One Piece.
Since you've watched this, did the live action did the anime justice?
Yes and no. And I'll explain as to why in those aspects. Anime always has a way to like capsulate like certain environments, certain actions, and just that's just hard to translate. So doing what they did, fantastic job in that aspect. When you're comparing the two, there's going to be levels to where the anime just succeeds more. One thing I would say they did a very good job, and this is coming from a person who has seen the show. The show usually is like 30 minutes long. If you skip the intros, the recaps, the credits, you're down to 10 to 15 minutes really of the show. That's all that it really
Mm-hmm,
is per
mm-hmm.
episode. They condensed about 44, 43 episodes into 8 episodes.
Yes, that's the next thing I was going to ask you is that, like Cowboy Bebop,
Yeah.
when we saw the live action of that in comparison to the anime, and the anime was actually, they had shorter episodes and
Yeah.
they were able to tell a fluid, better story, even though it was a shorter episode, where the live action had longer episodes and it felt like it dragged. Knowing the original source, were you confused? I wasn't confused watching this. I was able to follow along in what was happening. Did you like think like, oh my god, they forget this, they're what happened to here, they skipped that?
I mean, they did condense a lot of stuff, but I don't think
Mhm.
they skipped parts that didn't really need to be skipped. Like I said, in the first season of One Piece is one of the only shows I could tell you in anime. The first 3 episodes has recaps, and I'm like, why do you have a recap on episode 2?
For this season,
They didn't do that.
eight, that I know that, but it's 8 episodes for this season. How many seasons of the anime did they put here?
They did the first season. The first season in total is like 61 episodes. So,
Holy crap.
yes. So they're going to be like starting off roughly in the mid, like a little bit late middle of season one on the next season if they get greenlit. I think they're going to get greenlit. I think
I hope
this is going
so.
to be done good. And I hope they get a positive review from like the audiences over the next few weeks.
Well, I mean,
The first
I
weekend is usually the highest, but keeping it going.
true. I mean, granted, for Cowboy Bebop, I enjoyed the live action, but I wasn't in love with the first season of the live action.
Yeah.
Even though of that, I was still looking forward to see what they were going to do with the second season. But unfortunately, it got nicked. Now, here, I mean, if you can get Kim to stay up to watch episode to episode to episode,
Mm-hmm.
you know that show is good.
And
Kim only stays up. I mean, she stays up for pretty much for those romantic comedy, bullcrap, Lifetime, Hallmark of the week movie stuff. She'll stay up for, and
mhm.
she can stay up for that. It's like wow.
And mind you, like I'm saying all this while staying fairly close to the storyline. There's been some
Okay.
changes, but
Well, yeah, that's
that's where
understandable.
the adaptation comes in. But I want to say, like, their storyline adaptation of everything is pretty darn close. It's way more close than what Cowboy Bebop was. And just for example,
Mhm.
one of the biggest things that people had a problem was when one of the main villains, his arc was completely different in the live action version of Cowboy Bebop than it
Mhm.
is in the animation. Here,
Mhm.
things stay pretty true.
Now, is there a favorite moment or scene or maybe episode?
Ooh, I was always a fan of the episode where they go to the restaurant and then you find out about the moment where Sanji, like, was he met the chef, the head chef,
Mhm, mhm.
and they got stranded on the rock. I thought it was an interesting story, and I kind of liked it. Sanji is one of my favorite characters. He's a very cheesy, horned out character that loves all women.
They implied that when
Oh
he
no,
was when he met Nami.
he's full on about every pretty girl that. It's just that you see Nami first, but as
Uh-huh.
I guarantee you, if they continue on, you're gonna see like every pretty girl that comes his way. That's the new love of his life.
Well, before that, before he meets Nami, like he made a reference to the blonde.
Exactly.
We see the blonde later at a table,
Mm-hmm.
and then he meets Nami. Then he's like laying it on it thick,
Yes.
and well, all these like kind of like sexual innuendos with these. Well, not really sexual
Not
innuendos,
innuendos, but
but he was just
he's
like
showing favor to her versus everybody
right,
else. Mm-hmm.
right.
Heavy flirtation. He is a strictly kicks only kind of guy in a fight. He will never use his
Yeah,
hands in a fight because he believes his hands are meant for cooking, and you can't
right,
sully the hands
right.
for the kitchen.
His action scenes were damn on point.
And that's what I like
Right.
about Sanji. Like his action scenes in the cartoon are also really good about the kicks and everything.
Mhm.
Him and Zoro have like some of the best action scenes. I do like Sanji as he's one of my personal favorite characters. His dynamic you can see is growing with Zoro. I do think the escape from the Marines, and I believe that was episode 1 with I want to say he's a captain with the axe hand and jaw.
Yes.
I did like that. It's mostly like the dynamics of the characters. Like I forgot about the butler, him from
Oh,
the anime.
I forgot to mention when the first episode started
Mm-hmm.
and there's a narrator.
Yes.
It caught me off guard. I was thinking, I was hoping that he's gonna be reprising that role for every episode, but he just came in just for the beginning, and that was it. Ian McShane. He was the narrator.
Oh, I totally missed that.
Did you really? Oh my god! Like I heard that voice, like yes, he's in this. I was so excited.
I mean, technically, probably could. I mean, oh, I know who you're talking. Like, I couldn't put the name to the face, although I do recognize his voice. He should have been Jolly Roger.
Well, Ian McShane?
Yeah, Gold Roger. It's Gold Roger. I mean, he's up there in age now, but Gold Roger doesn't really do much. If for like the first few seasons, unless you're talking about flashbacks. Granted, they could probably pull them in other parts. They
Right.
introduce a lot of characters over the series.
What was your favorites again?
So The episode with Sanji, introduction and talk about his past and all his fight scenes. I did enjoy the first fight scene, although the fishman fight scene is probably better.
Who was the butler with the Edward Scissorhands?
Yes. So that guy.
That
It
wasn't
doesn't
Kuro,
help
was it?
that Luffy always messes up his name. Kuro, the butler.
No, he was Kalidor.
Kalidor. Okay.
Yeah, Alexander Nietis. He reminded me of when I thought looked like he had prosthetics on his face, and it looked like the guy who did Darth Maul from the Clone Wars Rebels.
Oh, yeah, I know who you're talking about. That guy.
I thought that was him for a minute. I was like, why? He's doing a nice little English accent there, but it wasn't. But
Mm-hmm.
like him watches, like, why is he Edward Scissorhands here? I was like, it's just a character they do. And then I was like, how does he wipe his ass? But anyway,
Well, it's more like a cat like because his other pirates
oh
were
no,
like
right?
cat themed.
It's like a nail,
Yeah.
right? Going back to in the sense of One Piece, I had no idea what it was. I thought just a nice name of a title. Didn't know. I thought One Piece was name of a character, but it's
Mm-hmm.
more of a treasure, more or less.
It's a big glorified treasure adventure that everybody wants the treasure. And then once you attain the treasure, you become like you're so wealthy or so powerful with this treasure that you just automatically become the king of the pirates. In essence, it's just the journey to get to the treasure.
Okay. And I also like how they get their powers. It says how some of them mutate, what have you, by eating a certain fruit.
The devil fruit. And I mean, some of them gain abilities just from training
Right.
and skill.
Like Zorro.
Mm-hmm. And Sanji. And then, but the gum fruit, the chop fruit, you'll see a lot more devil fruits in other seasons. Some of them seem ridiculous
Uh-huh.
if there's other seasons, but like, or if you watch the anime. And it's funny because some of these fruits don't seem like they'll be beneficial or powerful in any way, but it's one of those weird things that they just make it useful in a way that you're like, wow, that's very creative and destructive out of something I had no idea could be creative and destructive.
What do you mean? Well, no, they said in the thing, it's like it works differently depending on the person who eats it.
Like, so each fruit, like there's not two of one power.
Right.
Everybody has a unique ability set.
Right.
So there are ones that are like animal sets, right? So like in one version, there's a guy who turns into a giraffe. And you wouldn't think that would be a powerful ability, but my guy hits hard. And there's certain skills he can do that he combines it with his natural military training.
Giraffes fight with their freaking necks and
so
stuff.
like just for example on this one, the giraffe one, xenotypes, they can do like wear forms where they can go full animal or an in between, and then depending on how they change,
like a half breed,
kind of, and then they go back full human. So they can control the changing of that. By doing this, they gain certain attributes and skills. Like I said, things that you wouldn't think could be applied to be really beneficial, they somehow make it do it.
For me, again, there's really no favorite scene, but again, performance.
Mm-hmm.
Makanu as Zorro, awesome.
Yeah, he's a fan favorite character in general.
But the betrayal here was done great. I thought it was awesome. Like the way I mean, of course he's Japanese and he's most likely a fan of anime himself growing up, and he got the character right in a sense, like how he talks, the tempo, the almost the monotone,
the nonchalant, not caring at moments,
right?
But
Just
slightly
like,
caring.
It's not like Demon Slayer where that one character with the boar head wants to be the best warrior ever and all loud and all this stuff, where this one is more like subdual. He's like Ryu or Ryu from Street Fighter.
Yes.
Just wants to
train, fight, and be the best.
That's all. And then later on, he learns to care for others, even though he did when he was younger with his training buddy. They had a good relationship, a competition relationship, but still a caring relationship. And my favorite scene though was with him and the best swordman that he ever encountered.
Yes.
I can't remember his name right now, but his look was
Mihawk.
awesome. No, Dracula.
Dracul Mihawk.
Him. That was a great one, and also embarrassing because he fought him with a dull dagger.
Yes.
and he was able to defeat him. And I was like,
It
wow.
was like that in the cartoon too. It was very embarrassing, but that was the thing. Like his character is so strong that he could take any knife and or sword and just be that deadly. So it was just a testament of like where he saw Zoro's power level or skill. But what about Usopp? I thought Usopp was a fun character
He
too.
looks weird.
He's weirder in the cartoon.
No, but he looks weird. Like his lips.
If you saw the cartoon, you'll be like, oh,
Well, he looks similar
yes.
to the cartoon.
No, not like I want to say that's as close as you're gonna get because in the cartoon his lips are very pronounced and he has a Gonzo like nose that's just like really out there. And I'm like, I remember watching the show and I'm like, damn, that's as close as you're gonna get, but without
Yeah.
prosthetics.
Well,
And if
and
you
I have
put
to say,
prosthetics, it's gonna be offensive.
he looked off. Now, granted, that's how he looks. Okay, fine, but he just did look. He, I mean, what they did great here was they allow the characters or the actors look like the anime characters or the counterparts.
Yeah,
All I know this is from the pictures and stuff like that, but also
quick
from other
clips.
anime. Yeah, but from other anime, I see what they did there, like the hairstyle, where like Sanji's wearing a suit.
Mm-hmm.
No matter where he's at, he has a suit on.
Yeah.
I do like the fact that like I said, I've seen many pictures of One Piece, where One Piece, or not One Piece, but De Luffy, he's wearing different outfits. He still has that hat, but he has a different outfit altogether, and they showing that here. He has
Yes.
different outfits: the red vest, the Hawaiian shirt, some other outfits. I was like, because like Cowboy Bebop, like that, they had the same outfit for every episode,
Mhm.
unless they're in disguise.
I mean, for the most part, Luffy would wear the straw hat, red vest, and like shorts.
Right.
It's like his
But
go-to.
right, but there's other shots of him wearing different outfits, and
Yeah,
they had that here as well. Now, Inaki's performance of Luffy, wow, I can just imagine that's how it is in the anime.
pretty much.
He did it. I think he did a great job. He did what he. Well, I'm just well before that, like the last thing he was told by his mentor, the
Yeah.
one who gave him the hat, is be good, and that's what he is. He's a pirate, but he's not the stereotypical pirate where he's plunder and rape and pillage and just take whatever. No, he's like he's gonna find the gold, he's gonna find the prize, but he's not gonna do it the wrong way. He's gonna be on the righteousness, the passage of righteousness in a
Yeah.
way.
For him, he
Help
sees being a
others.
pirate not necessarily as being a criminal, but as just being
Mhm.
free to do what you want and get the adventure, as it were. Like
Right.
when you're a kid, you fantasize about being a pirate, but not to be a criminal. You fantasize for the adventure, to find things, to explore, but
Right.
occasionally outside the law.
Yes. Pirates at one time was fantasized.
Hmm.
Was it fantasized? Pirates were
Yeah, pirate like people
romanticized.
romanticize that. Yeah, that's a better term.
Romanticized because you didn't know the true
History.
ins and outs. Oh yes, of the pirates, what they did and how they were, but
Hmm.
like how a lot of books or movies made it look like it more attractive than it really was.
Exactly.
Now, was any weak moment for you?
Honestly, the only weak moments were like pretty much the same weak moments that I had in the cartoon. I was not for the longest time a big fan of Luffy, which is
Well, I mean,
surprising.
was it because like he's like very like loud and screaming a lot, stuff like that?
Yeah, I remember watching the cartoon, and even here, I was like, feel a little bit annoyed by you, Luffy. Um, not the actor, but just the character.
Right.
Just like in the cartoon, he grew on me. It just reminded me of when I first watched it. That's where it kind of had faults on it. I would say no, not so much down points. If anything, no. I'm gonna say it's pretty solid. I don't nothing that comes directly to mind about a low point. What about you?
The episode with the butler with Edward Scissorhands. It
In
felt like
general, or just
yeah,
the
just in general, because it felt like it dragged. Like
gotcha?
some of these episodes didn't have to be as long as they were. Some were like on the average an hour, some 40 to 45 minutes.
Yeah.
And that episode, to me, it felt like it dragged a little too long when it wasn't needed.
I feel you on that. I mean, that took about 9 episodes to summarize what happened in one episode.
Okay.
So I can feel you on that one.
Overall, this is a very entertaining series, or season 1.
Mm-hmm.
So far, that's what it is. And most likely, yes, it's going to be another season and another season, another season. Now, in comparison to the Rotten Tomatoes score, 82 by the critics, 95 by the audience, where do you see it as an anime fan? As a fan of One Piece and now seeing the live action version, where do you see it?
I'll be closer to the fan base that rated it. Honestly, if they had more episodes, I would be still watching those other episodes.
It's safe to say that this is worth the watch.
I would say so.
Would it be worth the own?
Nah, I'm gonna say no. I don't even own any of the anime One Piece.
How can you? It's like freaking like 1,000 episodes.
A lot of DVDs. No, I'm not gonna go out and get this. I know people that do. I know
Right,
people
of
that get
course.
the manga, and they have that. And they're still writing the manga.
Oh yeah, how many? Okay, how about that? Can you look up real quick about manga issues?
A few moments later.
Now, granted, this is a wiki list. Goes up to 106 volumes.
How many issues per volume?
I just double checked it. It's definitely 106 volume. But like, how many issues?
A few moments later.
No, that can't be right.
What?
So there's about 10 to 12 chapters in each volume.
So 10 to 12 chapters. Could it be safe to say those are issues?
Yeah, you can summarize that as issues. Because a chapter will be like several pages easily. They'll have
So
a
if
lot
you're
of
saying
pages.
how many volumes he said?
106. So if you
times it by
by
10, Jesus Christ.
it's like the
It's
episodes.
it's over 1,000. It's like many as that episodes. Yeah.
Yep. And they're still writing more.
That means they have not found the treasure.
No, they have
found the One
not.
Piece.
They have not found the One Piece. In regards to it's one of those things that has a very strong following. I want to say it's been, and if anybody corrects me on the comments, by all means, go ahead and do. But I want to say that they've been writing this since like before 2016, maybe longer. Actually, before 2015. So it's been around for a hot minute. I remember interviews where like celebrities have mentioned One Piece and loving One Piece. Like, and I may have mentioned this before. Jamie Lee Curtis, she actually knows a voice actor, and she was like a fan of One Piece. And Samuel L. Jackson, also a fan of One Piece. If I'm correct, I could be wrong.
All right, guys, that is our series review of One Piece Season 1. Which episode was your favorite? Which moment was your favorite? Who is your favorite character of the season so far? Let us know in the comments below, or you can email us at talesoftvbros@gmail.com. Also, if you have a show or a movie if you would like us to review, you can also let us know in the comments below, or you can also email us at talesoftvbros@gmail.com. Until next time, we'll be the next time. I'm Angel.
I'm Adan.
Love you, bro.
Love you too.